The case of Isaac Apodaca centers on the October 2022 death of 21-year-old Grace Jennings in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Prosecutors allege that Isaac Apodaca and his girlfriend, Kiara McCulley, planned and carried out Jennings' murder after luring her to their residence. Prosecution has relied on witness testimony, digital communications, internet search history, and forensic evidence to support their case. The defense challenges both the interpretation and reliability of key evidence. As with every criminal case, Isaac Apodaca is presumed innocent unless and until proven guilty in a court of law.
If you'd begin by introducing yourself to our jury by stating your name and spelling your name for our record, please.
Detective Manuel Romero with the Santa Fe Police Department. First name Manuel, last name Romero.
Mr. Lowe.
Thank you, Your Honor. What do you do for a living?
I work with the Santa Fe Police Department.
And do you have a rank?
Yes, I'm currently a detective.
All right. How long have you been with the Santa Fe Police Department?
Just over 8 years.
Any prior law enforcement experience before that?
No.
Were you on duty on October 29th, 2022?
Yes.
And were you a detective on that date?
I was not. I was assigned to the day shift patrol.
And were you called out to 5941 Jaguar Drive?
I was.
When you first arrived at that location, were there other officers present?
Yes. When I first arrived at that location, I believe I was the third officer on scene.
Okay. Without saying anything that you heard from the other officers, where were you positioned with the other officers?
So I initially parked almost directly in front of the residence off of Jaguar Drive.
Okay. And were there other people around? Was there a crowd gathered, anything like that?
I don't remember seeing a crowd. I do remember seeing the other two officers that were there initially with me, Officer Alvarado and Officer Arroyo.
Okay. And as part of your job as a police officer, were you attempting to figure out what was going on?
Yes.
What were your actions to try to figure out what was going on?
Initially, try to figure out where the crime scene was the primary function that we were trying to figure out.
Okay. And did you confirm the address on the house?
Yes. So the three of us eventually made it to the back of the residence. There was some initial confusion. I contacted dispatch and requested that they clarify if we were at the correct residence.
Okay. And at some point, did you open up or did someone else open up the garage?
Yes.
What, if anything, did you see inside the garage?
So when the garage was opened, I saw the deceased Grace just in front of that door. So for clarification, the house and the garage, there's it's a detached garage. So when we got that door initially opened, I seen the deceased. At some point in time, I pushed a little bit further into the garage. It looked like it had been converted into a makeshift bedroom. So it's very difficult to navigate trying to get all the way into the garage. But I did observe, so it had been to the right of the door. It was, I guess, a table or a dresser of some sort. I don't exactly recall, but there was a sword on that item.
Okay. Now, Detective, you said that you pushed into the garage. What do you mean by that?
Like I tried to get further into the garage.
Okay. Was there anything stopping you?
Yes. Like I said, it was converted. It appeared to be converted into like a makeshift bedroom, but there was trash, there was clothing, there was all sorts of items.
Okay. And so were those items preventing you from opening up that door all the way?
I don't recall if we could open the door all the way or not. To my recollection, the door was opened pretty wide.
Okay, then were those items preventing you from walking all the way into the garage?
Yes, and also there was the deceased that was almost directly right there by the door as well.
Okay, great. When, as a police officer, do you typically wear a body-worn camera?
I do.
Okay. You don't have one on today, though, do you?
I do not.
Okay. But as a patrol officer, you typically do have a body-worn camera, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And on October 29th, 2022, did you have your camera on?
Yes.
And do you know if your camera was recording?
It was.
Okay. Your Honor, permission to approach the witness?
You may.
So Detective, I'm going to hand you what has been marked as State's Exhibit 5. Would you please take a look at this?
Yes, sir. Yes.
How do you recognize it?
I reviewed this.
Okay.
CD.
And when you reviewed it, after you reviewed it, did you do anything to the
Yes.
What did you do?
I initialed and dated the CD.
Okay. And other than audio being removed, is it a fair and accurate representation of some of your body-worn camera footage from that day in question?
Yes, it is.
At this point, I would move State's Exhibit 5 into evidence.
Any objection to 5?
No objection, Your Honor.
Without objection, 5 is admitted. Mr. Lowe?
Permission to approach and publish?
Yes.
Indicate, would you have to press a button? What do you have to do?
There's a couple ways that our body cameras will initiate. One of them is by us actually tapping the button. The other is with our lights. I'm not positive how this body camera was activated that day.
Okay. But it's actually going to record you actually driving to the scene.
Yes.
Now, noticed that your gun is drawn. Why is your gun drawn?
Due to the nature of the call.
And where on your body is your camera placed?
Typically about chest level.
Okay. So wherever your chest is pointing, then that is where your camera is pointing. Is that the idea?
Yes.
Okay. Now, without saying anything that anybody is saying, what is happening right now?
So at this point in time, this is part of that clarification process that I testified to, where I was contacting dispatch and ensuring that we were at the correct address.
And did the residents of the house, did they appear surprised to see police?
Yes, the mother was very surprised.
And at this point, what is happening?
The deceased is discovered in there. And then there's some communication. I think I communicate with dispatch a little bit about getting paramedics and informing them of what's going on.
Do other officers arrive on the scene?
Yes, multiple officers.
Now, without saying what anybody is saying, what is happening in this scene?
There is some discussion about how to properly clear the structure.
And when you say how to properly clear, when you say to clear the structure, what do you mean by clear it?
Yes, to get into the structure, ensure that there's nobody else, things like that.
Okay. And at this point, has another agency arrived on the scene?
Yes, those are the paramedics, firefighters with the city.
All right. And do you know if they were able to provide any life-saving measures?
I do not.
So it looks like you've switched your placement to sort of in the doorway of the main house without saying what anyone is saying, what is occurring.
Yes, I'm asking one of the residents to exit the home, and then in a short time, you'll see that she's detained.
Are you able to see what is on that person's shirt?
Some writing. This is my happy place.
Okay. And do you know who that person is?
Yes,
Who is that?
Kiara McCulley.
Okay, and then the other person not with any of the agencies, do you know who that person is?
Yes.
Who is that?
That is Lanny McCulley, the mother of Kiara.
What is happening here?
She's putting on shoes.
And when you say she, who do you mean?
So the mother's going to help Kiara here in a bit put on her shoes.
So based on the circumstances, why is Lanny McCulley having to help Kiara put shoes on?
Based off of the information and the deceased that was just located, all of this coupled together, we had reason to believe that Kiara was involved.
Okay. So were handcuffs placed on her?
Yes.
And until she was someplace secure, were those handcuffs going to come off?
Yes. Once we arrived at the Santa Fe Police Department.
Okay. At this point, are you or anyone else asking any questions of Lanny McCulley or Kiara McCulley?
At this point in time, no. I think the only conversation that I may have had with her would been obtaining her personal information, either here or a little bit later.
And what's happening? What happened right there?
I was directing her outside of the property back to the front where my vehicle was so that I could seat her in there.
So I want to talk a little bit about the procedure that you take before you put someone into your vehicle. Do you pat them down or do you frisk them?
Yes. So I believe there was two initial times where I did like a quick pat search of her. I would pull her out of my vehicle at a later point in this video and completely check her person for anything once we're getting ready to get transported.
Okay. And did you find anything on her person?
I don't recall finding anything on her.
If you had found anything on her person, would you have let her keep it or would you have confiscated it?
It depends on what it was. If it was like personal effects, say ID wallet, typically we'll take possession of it, but then we will book them into the jail with it and they'll get it at a later time.
Okay. And at this point, are you taking down identifying information from Kiara McCulley?
Yes, this is what I had spoken to about gathering her identifying information. So did you
eventually take Kiara McCulley to the police station?
Yes, I transported her myself.
All right. Did you have any contact at all with anyone by the name of Isaac Apodaca that day?
I recall seeing him at the police department. I don't think we had any conversation or anything.
Once you got to the police station with Kiara McCulley, what, if anything, did you do with her?
Yes, we have a holding cell. I placed her in the holding cell, turned on the camera for that holding cell. And then sometime later, when detectives requested to interview her, then I escorted her up to one of our interview rooms.
Okay. Permission to approach the witness?
Yes.
And Detective, I'm going to hand you what has been marked as State's Exhibit number 6. Do you recognize that?
Yes,
What is it?
it is another CD that I also reviewed.
Okay. And in your review of it, is that absent the audio, is that a fair and accurate representation of more of your body-worn camera footage from October 29th, 2022?
Yes, it is.
At this point, I would move State's Exhibit number 6 into evidence.
No objection, Your Honor.
6 is admitted without objection. Counsel, if you'd approach before we go on. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a question that probably a number of you have been wondering about, but we got from a juror. The question is, why has the body of the body cam footage been removed? Evidentiary rules. We've heard the statement hearsay. Hearsay is defined as an out-of-court statement that is offered to prove the truth of something, okay? There's a lot of conversation. You can see the conversation going on. Unlike what you can observe directly, those statements coming from the officers are their impressions, their conclusions about things that may or may not even be accurate. And so the language has been removed. You're able to view what the officers were viewing because that is relevant evidence for you to consider. But their statements and other information that they may or may not have. You've heard questions here about what was known at the time the officers arrived. Again, that's just what information they had that they were operating under. Again, it may or may not have been completely accurate. But with respect to the actual video, the audio that's on the video, that is why it has been redacted, as the rules of evidence apply to that evidence as well as everything else that happens in court. Mr. Long, you may continue.
Thank you, Judge. Permission to approach the witness?
You may. And this is 6?
This is 6.
Okay, go ahead.
So where is this occurring right now that we're watching?
This is us arriving at the Santa Fe Police Department.
Okay. And without saying what, if anything, she may have said, what was Ms. McCulley's demeanor when you were taking her to the police station?
She seemed relatively calm.
And where is she headed right now?
This is the holding cell at the Santa Fe Police Department.
And what are you doing right here?
This is the camera view from inside the holding cell, so I'm just logging into the system to start the recording.
And as a common practice for you, at least when someone goes into the holding cell, for you to turn on that recorder?
Yes.
And is the holding cell, is that audio and video, or is it just video?
It's both.
All right. I pass the witness.
Cross-examination.
Yes, Your Honor, thank you. Good afternoon, Detective.
Good afternoon, sir.
You, when did you become a detective?
I was promoted approximately 3 years ago. Actually in the role, maybe a year and a half.
Okay, so at the time of this incident, you were a patrol officer?
Yes.
Okay, well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Alvarado was promoted as well, right?
Yes.
Was everybody promoted that day?
I think he was promoted sometime before me.
Oh, okay. Well, congratulations on the promotion. I just had a couple quick questions I wanted to clear up. When you, it looks like you were the third person who went through that gate. Am I correct in that, or were you the second?
No, I believe I was the third.
Did you ever lay eyes on Miss McCulley before she went into her house?
I did not.
So the only one who saw her, to your knowledge, would be Alvarado?
I believe so.
Okay. Were you aware at the time that you went through that gate, were you aware that he had seen somebody?
Yes.
How did you become aware of that?
I believe he verbalized it.
And in what way?
I think he just said, hey, somebody went back into the house.
Okay. If you hear something like that and you start going into the backyard at that point, do you expect to see someone there?
Did I expect to see someone
Yes.
there? Based off of his statement, no, he said they had gone back to the house.
Okay. All right. So you were advised at that point that that person had gone back to the house?
Yes.
Okay. Would you consider that fleeing?
Would I consider that fleeing?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a very complex question. Just based off of that alone, maybe not.
Okay. And when you were walking, well, let me ask you, what kind of training do you have with regards to, are you DRE qualified or DUI qualified?
I'm qualified to do DWIs. I am not qualified as a DRE.
Okay. And a DRE is what?
A drug recognition expert. It takes a lot more training.
Okay. Well, when you were walking with Miss McCulley to the police car, did you notice any signs of intoxication?
In terms of alcohol, I did not smell alcohol on her person.
Okay, and you had said that you're not DRE qualified. Is there a time where you understand that you need a DRE expert to help you out with something?
Yeah, absolutely. There's times where they would be relevant.
Okay, so would you have needed a DRE person in this particular instance?
That did not cross my mind. I'm not sure where I would need them.
All right. And I think you had said that you made contact, or at least you saw Isaac Apodaca at the police department, correct?
Yeah, I believe I saw him at some point.
But you never saw him at the scene?
I did not.
Now, with regard to when you entered the scene, Alvarado starts kicking the door. What was the demeanor of the person on the other side of the door?
Shocked.
And when she came out, it's our understanding that she gave you guys the keys to open the garage door. Is that correct?
Yes.
Did you see where she got them?
The keys?
Yes.
I did not see where she grabbed them from.
And was it just one key or was it on a keychain or?
That I don't recall.
Okay. And that door, do you know how it unlocks?
I did not unlock that
You
door.
didn't unlock the door yourself?
I did not.
So it was the guy with it looked like he was wearing a green uniform.
Yes.
He was the one who unlocked it?
Yes.
What was his name?
Alejandro?
Oh, that's
Arroyo?
Arroyo? Okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay, and this is 5941 Jaguar Drive.
Yes.
This was, and it's on October 29th of 2022, right?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know what happened to that key after the garage door was open?
I do not know.
And you had mentioned during your direct testimony that the garage door had been converted into a bedroom. Is that right?
That's what it appeared to be to me.
And so when they convert something into a bedroom, where's the garage door itself? Is it just closed off?
I don't think so. I think the garage door was still on the other side, like the actual, I believe.
The other side of the room from where the entrance was?
Yes, this was just a standard door where I actually made entrance.
Okay. Now, with regard to making that entrance, you had said that it was a little bit difficult to push the door open. Is that correct?
I said when I tried to go in there, there was just a lot of stuff in the room, making it difficult to actually walk into that garage.
Okay. And so when you say walk in, or I'm trying to differentiate between pushing the door open itself, getting it open, or just being able to walk into the garage. Are you saying that it was hard to walk into the garage because of clutter?
Yes, we actually, our intention, or my intention, was to walk into the garage.
And it wasn't the door that blocked you, it was just the clutter?
There was just a lot of stuff.
Okay. But the door opened itself?
Yes, the door was open.
Okay. And was it open wide enough for Ms. McCulley to walk through it?
I believe that even I was able to walk a little bit into the garage, but then, of course, because of all the stuff, it limited my ability to go further in.
Yeah, when you say stuff, you're talking about the stuff on the ground or all the stuff you wear?
No, all the stuff that was in their personal effects.
And did you see that sword?
I did.
And can you describe it for the jury?
I don't remember exactly what it looks like. I would estimate that it's probably about 4 feet long with a standard handle.
Okay, and you didn't touch it either, right?
I did not.
And you do that to preserve evidence?
What's that?
You don't touch evidence so that it's preserved properly?
Yes.
And did you, at some point in time, you cleared that house, right?
The main residence?
Yes, sir.
I never went into the main residence, to my recollection. I ended up leaving with Miss McCulley.
Okay, so they made entrance into the main residence after you walked away?
I believe it was after I left.
All right. And after you brought Miss McCulley to the police department, you had stated that you checked her a couple times before you put her in your unit?
I actually checked her prior to transporting her to the police department.
And then after you get her out of your unit, do you then check your unit?
Typically, yes.
Do you recall if you did that in this case?
I don't believe I did.
And what kind of, so did you identify the woman who actually gave you guys the keys?
I don't know if she provided her information to myself or another officer.
Do you recall her name?
Yes.
What is it?
Lanny
McCulley?
McCulley.
And was she pretty excited? Her demeanor, what was she like?
When we got there and her door was being kicked in, she was, I don't know how to describe, maybe alarmed. She seemed shocked at what was happening.
And did she make any statements to you while she was under those emotions?
She was asking what we were doing and why her door was being kicked in.
And after she came out of the house, was she still alarmed?
Yes, absolutely.
And did she say anything to you at that point in time while she was under the influence of those emotions?
She was asking questions. I remember we had informed her that there was a crime scene. Nobody was to go back into the main residence or the garage. And she had inquired as to why.
Do you remember the words she used?
I don't remember them verbatim, but I did inform her that there was a deceased individual in there, and she seemed surprised by that. And she essentially repeated what I had said, was there's a dead body in there.
And did she tell you anything about somebody's having spent the night before?
That was a conversation that I had observed between her and Kiara.
Okay. So you just overheard that?
Yes, that was a conversation that I overheard between the two.
Okay. And on that video that we were watching, that was your body cam, correct?
Yes.
And it looked like Detective Alvarado was pointing at Miss McCulley's hands. Do you recall that?
Yes.
What was he pointing at, if you know?
She had some bandages on her hands.
Did you see how many bandages she had on her hand?
I don't remember the number. I did remember seeing the bandages on her hands.
But more than one?
Yes, I would say so.
Okay. During any of this time, did Kiara ever tell you that Isaac Apodaca made her kill this young lady?
Hearsay.
Can I rephrase it, Your Honor?
Objection sustained in that form. Go ahead.
During any of the time when, well, I guess, was Kiara ever at a point where she was excited?
I don't know if I would classify her emotions as excited. She's, like I said, she seemed relatively calm.
And that was during the whole time?
Yes.
Okay. And what about Lonnie? Did she make any mention as to who might have done this while she was under the influence of those emotions?
Objection, hearsay.
Sustained.
Was there ever, well, Did you ever arrest Lonnie McCulley?
Did I never arrested her, no.
Okay, so she was never a suspect?
No, not to my knowledge.
JR was the only suspect you had at that time?
Yes.
And later on, Mr. Apodaca became a suspect?
That was due to an investigation that was beyond my scope at the time.
Okay.
Kiara was a suspect at that time based off of what the knowledge I had at that time.
And you didn't see Mr. Apodaca at the scene, right?
I did not.
Okay. May I have just a second, Your Honor? May I have just a second, Your Honor? Thank you. And if you can remember, do you remember what Ms. McCulley's behavior was like while she was in the holding cell?
That I don't remember.
Did you stand there and watch her, or did you have to walk away and do paperwork?
Typically, that's what we do, and then we have a screen, so look here and there just to monitor her. But I probably was doing paperwork at the time.
So you just monitor to make sure nothing's going on?
Yeah, briefly checking in and out.
And you didn't see anything out of the ordinary?
Not that I recall, no.
Okay. That's a pretty complicated system. You're very tech savvy, by the way. But thank you. I have nothing further.
Redirect.
Nothing on redirect, but we will reserve him for rebuttal.
Okay. So you're being reserved, which means the attorneys may recall you later in the trial. Don't discuss your testimony with anyone. Don't seek out any information from any source about what has been testified to or about the case.
Yes, Your Honor.
But you may step down.
Thank you.
This concludes today's proceedings in State of New Mexico versus Isaac Apodaca. The trial continues as both the prosecution and the defense present evidence, question witnesses, and make their arguments before the court. The case has not reached a final verdict, and Isaac Apodaca remains presumed innocent unless and until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. Stay tuned for continued coverage of the proceedings and future trial updates.